Welcome back to part 3 of our interview with Jeffrey Gitomer, where he tells us how to increase your likability, as well as why your likability is actually more important than trust when it comes to sales. Keep it right here. Part 3 is coming up next.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Tell us a little bit about the Academy.
It is predominantly video. It is predominantly sales and personal development. It's everything from attitude to close the sale. It's trust. It's networking. Everything that I've done in any one of my books. But there's power lessons that a sales manager can use as a 5-minute lesson in a sales meeting. I recommend, for example, that they send it to their team on Friday to watch over the weekend and then discuss how they can customize it on Monday. But there's all kinds of fun things in there, and it's not X-rated, but it's certainly R-rated in many cases, to where you have to be an adult to take it, and not be too pissed off about the real world information. It's exceptionally real world. If you like me, you're going to love the Academy. If you don't like me, you're probably not going to like the Academy as well. And that's, those are the things that we really focus on. And if you really want to find out how to like me, just come on our podcast, Sell or Die. For those of you watching video, it's right behind me. I do it with my partner, Jen Gluckow, and we, every Tuesday, we have a meeting. On Monday, we have Motivation Monday. On Thursday, we have extras. There's all kinds of things that we have that go online. And this month, we're going to pass 50,000 downloaders, shooting for 150.
Wow.
Man, it's amazing.
Yeah,
part of it's for nothing. It's there for nothing so that people will want more.
Yeah. You've got to have, when you do have more, people go to it. What do you find? So many people, I call it shelf help, right? I mean, I've got a library back here. I actually do read, and I just don't buy things.
Shelf help is a real good name. That's a great name. It's shelf help that you haven't turned into self help.
Right. So but so many people do that, and they don't execute on it. What do you think keeps the people from actually doing something, executing on it, versus just they're interested in it? I always talk about interested versus being committed. What separates them?
Alcohol and television. You can't read after 3 beers. But you can watch television. So you read a page or two and you go, oh, shit, I'm going to have a beer. And then you sit back in your easy chair and you get too easy and you're done. So you either commit to it or you don't. But there's no sort of pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. And you're either committed or you're not. And the best people I know are the people that are committed.
Do you think there's a personality trait in those that are truly committed versus those that are not? Is there a way that we can, when we're looking for great people to join our team, how do we find the committed ones versus the interested ones?
You ask one question. Tell me about your last boss. And that will give you the attitude that they have in life, not just towards the last boss. He didn't understand me. They pushed me too far. Next. Or you say, he had a lot of great qualities and he had a lot of qualities that I learned from. And I'm glad that I'm not there anymore because I need a place to be more successful. That's the kind of guy I want.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I love that. I guess I passed that test. It was like, yeah, my ex-boss used to hit me, but I actually learned a lot from him.
Exactly. It didn't hit you that hard. Right.
It's like, man up. Okay, it was just, it's punched to the arm. So what? It hurt for a little bit.
Yeah. That's funny.
I love that.
But in New York, it's expected. It's a good thing it wasn't a shovel in the face.
Yeah. And it was a little different time. It was back in the late 80s, early 90s. And, that's just kind of what went on. And it was Wall Street area.
We live in a tiptoe world right now.
Yeah.
I mean, people are tiptoeing around who they voted for, what their gender is, what their preferences are. I mean, it's a crazy world. And, you know, my favorite color, I guess, for the next few years is going to be plaid, because I don't want to talk about red or blue. I want to talk about green. And if I'm talking about green, I'm talking about money. Everyone understands that language.
Yeah.
Everyone understands the language of money. But I don't need to be political in order to be able to climb that ladder.
No. I think there's money to be made in whichever, who's ever in office, you can figure out a way. I don't care what's getting in my way. It was funny. I was with my daughter earlier today, and we were talking about something, and I said, I've got a very important meeting coming up on Friday that's, could be a 7-figure adjustment in a good way. And I said, but we got a couple hurdles to get over. And she's like, oh, that's too bad. I was like, look, 7-figure deals don't come along without hurdles. It's just part of the thing that happens with deals. It's life. You just learn to keep jumping. And when they throw up another one, you jump again. Sometimes you might duck them. You might go around them. But that's what you got to do. Don't pray for less problems.
People, because I'm so direct, people go, well, obviously you're a chauvinist. I'm like, I have 4 daughters and 4 granddaughters and a girlfriend and 2 dogs that are female. I'm a solid 11 female family. Don't tell me that I don't know how to talk to women or treat women. Please don't tell me that. I mean, women rule my world, and I'm grateful for them. And I'm happy that I get a chance to influence them in a way, from my perspective, that will allow them to be or do anything they want on this planet. And if somebody's so sensitive that they can't take one word one way or the other, it's time to become a dog catcher or something, or work as a clerk somewhere in a candy store. At least things are sweet there. And our world is way too sensitive.
Yeah, I agree. Man, where did 45 minutes go already? I want to
47.
47. I love it. 47. You got 48 minutes. Right. I want to jump into some of the things that you have. You talked a little bit about the Academy. I know you have some other things, the podcast, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I want to talk about some other things that you have in your arsenal, because it truly is an arsenal. I went to your Wikipedia page. It looks like a catalog for self-development and sales. Yeah. I mean, like, all it needed was hyperlinks. People
go, wow, you have a Wikipedia page? Like,
yes,
they're free. All you have to do is fill in the blanks.
That's right.
We actually monitor my Wikipedia page, because anybody can enter anything they want.
Yeah.
And we look to that, as some people go, Jeffrey Gitomer wiki and hit return. And I want them to know history of what's happened and what hasn't happened, and to be as honest and as open about it as I possibly can. And you'd be amazed at how many people will read it.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I learned things about you that I didn't know. But before we dive into some of that, the other materials that you have and the other programs that you have, is if you had 3 minutes just to disseminate kind of everything that you've learned in your life up to this point. I know you can't do that, but what are some of the things that stick out that, are just, I'll give you one of mine. A mentor once told me, hell on earth would be to meet the man or woman you could have become.
Ooh.
And that always is stuck with me. That's something that I wake up and that's, either a nightmare or a dream, right? But it motivates me. It inspires me to be better version of myself today.
I'll throw you a couple of things.
Yeah. So go ahead.
People will rain on your parade because they have no parade of their own. Number 2, all things being equal, people want to do business with their friends. All things being not quite so equal, people still want to do business with their friends. Number 3, if you make a sale, you earn a commission. If you make a friend, you can earn a fortune. And if you can make them laugh, you can make them buy. If you take those 4 mantras out into the street, you're going to make a lot of money. And I talk about the first sale that's made as a salesperson. If you can't sell yourself or get to be liked by the other person, you're never going to make the sale. When I wrote the little teal book of trust, the opening mantra is, if they like you and they believe you and they have confidence in you and they trust you, then they may buy from you. And I'll ask people what the most important thing is, like, believe, confidence, or trust, and they'll all say trust, and they're all wrong. It's like. If you don't have likability, you're never going to get to trustability. And that's those are the secrets. They're not tough. They're not tough. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. They're not tough. If you're interested in me and you go to just email me, Jeffrey@Gitomer.com, I'll send you my retweetables book, which will have half of my mantras in there. It's one tweet every day, but it's 365 of my best tweets. And it's not a tabletop book; it's an ebook. Maybe one day it'll be a tabletop book if we refine it a little bit. But there are things you can use. Retweet me to start your own Twitter account, because in the front of this book is also how to tweet. And well, that's easy for you to say, Jeffrey. No, it's not easy for me to say. I started with one person to follow me, and I figured out how to get a bunch of people to follow me, and it's working. So far, it's working.
How many? 112,000?
Yeah, somewhere in there. I was going to try to see what happened on the tweet that I just did. This will get retweeted 20 times, and it'll have 30 or 40 likes, and that's what spreads my word to other people for free. For free. That's the whole key thing.
You said the key is like, so I've got to drill down on that.
It's likability. You have to have likability. If you don't have likability, you have nothing.
How do you increase your likability?
By being friendly. By not being sticky. Let me. I have this slide deck. Like, seriously, I don't want to see a slide deck.
Yeah.
I tell people, mail your slide deck to the customer one day before the presentation, and say, this is the boring part of my presentation that you probably already know about. I'm coming over for an hour tomorrow to talk about you and your needs.
Yeah. Yeah. And please don't read it.
Differentiate yourself and have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. People have forgotten how to have a conversation.
And they forgot about you're allowed to have fun.
Exactly.
I don't want a professional salesperson. I want a friendly salesperson.
Yes. Yeah. I recall a meeting that I had back, it must have been 20 years ago, and we had a slide presentation, something went wrong, right? And she goes, the person we were with said, oh, what, no overheads this time? And we're like, overheads, we'll give you overheads. And we just did that.
Exactly.
That's all we had. It was like, and we started making little like fishies or little birds in the picture.
Yeah.
She thought it was hilarious.
That's totally cool.
What are we going to do? So Jeffrey, go ahead.
I'm modern on technology, but I'm old-fashioned friendly.
Yeah. Yeah. As we look at our organization, I think of our best clients. They're really have become close friends. And the best opportunities that come our way are from people that really like us, really wanted to see us succeed, and are giving us things that, quite frankly, just blow us away sometimes. The generosity.
If I have a big customer, big CEO, I have their text, and I'll text them.
Yeah.
When my team wins, when their team wins, if something happens, I text CEOs all the time.
Yeah.
Literally every day.
It's about relationships.
Yep.
Love it. Tell us a little bit more about your organization. I know the Academy is just part of it. I know the podcast is just part of it. You've got 14 books in print.
Yes, and we have a mission statement.
Please tell us.
Sell Jeffrey, kiss ass. We don't put it on all of our literature, but everybody knows what it is. And if you call us up any time of the day or night, someone live answers the phone 24/7.
Nice.
There's no press one. Nobody has voicemail.
Love it.
We just answer the phone and help people.
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's, we only have, a dozen people working in the company, but it's enough to be able to handle 1 million people online.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. You don't need an army of people anymore. You just need an online academy to be able to accommodate who wants to learn anywhere in the world, any time of the day or night.
And who's your ideal client in that lane?
I would say my ideal client is anybody in sales or leadership, especially sales leadership or ownership. If you own a business, you most likely have salespeople. You better be one notch better than they are.
Yeah.
So I have leadership products. I have the little book of leadership is available to any sales leader or business owner. It's not just written about sales; it's written about leadership in general. One of my mentors was the great Paul Doc Hersey, who wrote Situational Leadership. and I understand leadership at its core, from my family businesses all the way down to the people that are the great leaders and speakers in this country. So I try to start at the top, and which is my whole philosophy of sales. I want to start to talk to the CEO because he or she knows where everybody is.
Yeah. It's got to start there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Easiest place to start a sale.
Yeah.
But most salespeople want 5 minutes of the guy's time. I don't want that. I want to blog with them. I want to interview with them. I want to podcast with them, get to know their leadership style. And if they like me, they'll accept my next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. People are always, and it's funny, people are reaching out all the time. Like, hey, would you like to grab coffee? Why?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I have a coffee machine. I mean, I can afford to buy my own coffee.
Here's the deal. People will call me up and say, can I buy you lunch and pick your brain? And I say, no, I have $1,000 an hour brain picking fee, and I'll buy your lunch.
Yeah.
And literally, we have a guy flying in to. It was in an old book that was $500, and I honored it. But people fly in to talk.
And what is that person going to learn in an hour? If he is
whatever they want,
right? But
to send me a list of the things that they want to learn.
Yeah.
And then that's what I will discuss during lunch. I'm not going to talk about how to raise your kid if you don't want to. If you don't have any,
right? But if he's coming in to learn about sales and building relationships, and he is taking notes and he's paying attention, what can he do with
the talk?
Record. Love it.
Take notes.
I love it.
Number two, I'm probably going to give him 3 or 4 books that he can walk away with, so he'll be able to read something on the way home. And then I'm going to talk to him about what he needs to do both in business and on a personal level that will buy back his time or her time and that will lead them to the money that they're hoping for, because that's all they care about.
Yeah. And what sort of ROI could that be? 20, 30, 50, 100 times?
Yeah. It's whatever they make it. When they leave me, they got to go to work.
Right.
And exactly. I can't go back and go, come on, Bob, you can do it. Come on, Billy. Come on, Mary, you can do it. But I can tell you that there's a lot of people that you would know right off the bat that have been here that have turned it into money.
Yeah. And when they're willing to invest and put up money to do it, then they're serious.
The people that are willing to invest in themselves, which is a Warren Buffett mantra, by the way, invest in yourself. It's the best investment you can make. The people that are willing to do that and step up to bat, I'm pretty sure they're going to go back and do something with it.
Yeah. I agree. Getting a hold of you, getting a hold of a company, Gitomer.com. Anything else you want to include there? GitomerLearningAcademy.com. Seller, just email sellordie@Gitomer.com and we'll get you all about the podcast. And just, go to iTunes or Overcast or anywhere that famous podcast exists, and you can find us. Stitcher, you name it. Terrific. Jeffrey, thank you very much for agreeing.
It's a doggone pleasure.
Well, thank you, man.
Pleasure. You're an extremely intelligent and insightful human being, and you know how to extract information that your audience can use, and you're going to be, once you get into the video thing, you're going to go to the moon.
This is the first one.
I feel honored.
I got your pretty face on the first one. We just finished our 500th episode on Monday, and man, this is the first one. So what a better way to kick it off with you on here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
My people will call your people.
All right. Excellent. Or we could actually communicate ourselves since we're connectors.
We could. You have my text.
I do. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com. And I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners. And if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.